Hello, welcome to the Special Moves podcast. This is episode 85. My name is Mike Williams. These guys are Jake Klukowski and Liam McKelvey. Lads, we've been playing a lot of Last of Us.
We have.
Get a chance for Hey Gamers, but you know what I mean? Don't worry. You're trying to choke it out, aren't you? I know what you're saying.
I don't know what you're talking about, mate. What's this?
Hey We're Gamers? On the Siege Gamers. But yeah, we have been playing The Last of Us 2, which came out on Friday, didn't it? So
it did.
Yeah. I went a bit mental and so as I've said loads, I haven't been completely excited about it. I haven't been excited about this at all, to be honest. Like, I haven't been looking forward to it really from the beginning. So I've been really trying over the last few weeks to get into the idea of playing it. And to do that, I was trying to replay the original Last of Us, which I had a week off work this week, so I've done it. And I played it and I finished it on Thursday, so the day before Last of Us 2 came out. So I went in super kind of like, you know, I had a lot of fresh thoughts about the original Last of Us in my head when I went into the sequel, which I guess a lot of people would have replayed it. Liam, you replayed the original.
Yeah, like
recently, didn't you? 6 months or something, you said? A few months?
Yeah, I said 6 months and then realised it was like November, December, so not 6 months at all. But it's still fresh in the mind. I actually replayed it twice because I realised I didn't have any of the New Game Plus trophies and I wanted the trophies. So I watched the trophies. But yes, nice. Like it was fresh enough in my mind that going into this one. Yeah,
I did it on... I guess this is the first thing I was going to say about Last of Us 2, really, because I did the original on hard just because I wanted to, you know, try and push the like survival bit of it and you know, force myself to do a bit of stealth and whatever. And I guess that's something I can talk about with Last of Us 2 without worrying about spoilers too much. I have found myself, I'm playing Last of Us 2 on normal, having played Last of Us 1 on hard, and I'm finding I've got just loads of ammo and loads of bombs or whatever. Do you know what I mean? My backpack is full to the brim, so I'm kind of not having to stealth. I'm actually saying, well, I want to continue to open drawers and pick things up, so I'm just going to use all my shotgun shells on these guys, kind of thing. And I'm kind of like, you know, not worrying about my resources very much. I don't know how you guys have found that. Have you guys been? I have been doing a lot of stealth, but what I'm saying is, I've just not worried about whipping the fucking shotgun out when I want to, and just
so.
You know.
I think it's worth mentioning right off the bat that when we're talking about Liam, we're talking about past tense. That's not a death threat to Liam. I'm talking about that he's finished the game.
Yeah.
I have finished the game. I did it in 2 marathon sessions, basically.
Yeah, cool.
And so
2 days, 3 days, no, 2 days, I guess.
2 days, yeah.
Well, it's only been out for 2 days, so yeah.
So Friday, Saturday. I finished it last night. So
yeah, that's it. And me and Mike are at the exact same point. So it's, you know, just wanted to bring that up for the listeners in case like Liam's going to have probably differing views about the gameplay mechanics because he's seen the game in its fully intended unfurled nature, but we've only seen the. I guess you'd say
we're about halfway. I reckon. Aren't we?
Well, yeah, I'd say so. From what I've seen, it's probably about a third.
If I remember from what you guys said, and from my knowledge, just under halfway, I think.
Yeah,
cool.
I would think so.
But I'll say that I haven't really had much of a problem finding craftable items. So obviously, like just like the original game, when you are making, like medikits or whatever they're called, and Molotovs, they use like whatever rags and liquid, and then when you've got your melee upgrades and whatnot, they're always like scissors and tape and shit. So I've always got an abundance of those items to the point where I have that weird feeling when I open a drawer, it says you can't collect any more liquid because you've already got full liquid. So then I go craft like a Molotov or whatever, and I realize I've still got 3 of each. So I'm like, I don't know why I feel weird leaving all that stuff. So but for guns, I've got, just like, again, The Last of Us 1, you've got like your long guns, which is like, shotgun and rifle and bow and whatnot. And then you've got your short guns, which is, your pistols and revolvers and shit. I always run out of ammo with them, and they're the only guns I use. So I've been struggling to find ammo for them. and I'm stealthing around a lot. Like I'm trying to do it in my head. I remember them saying you can kind of get through nearly every instance without being seen, and it's really quite clear when there's like a scripted action scene. You know, normally it'll be like you go through a crawl space and you come out the other side, and then you can clearly hear someone go, "She's over there, smoke her," and then they, you know, whatever. But everything else, you can stealth around. So I've been trying to do that. I do like stealth games, innit? So I've been trying, and I don't like it in Ubisoft games and stuff where you get seen by one person and everyone magically knows where you are. But this isn't the case. So I've been trying to take advantage of
it. They do. If you get spotted, they all you hear like a musical cue, and everyone in the area knows where you are.
Well,
so they kind of.
For me,
that's one thing I found.
For me, you can lose them pretty quick if you crouch and crawl away. They know where your like last area is.
It's very easy to like sort of like break out of their line of sight and get back into stealth state again.
Yeah. I find that if you throw a brick or whatever and crawl, you can reestablish it. It reminds me of like Hitman, not 1 and 2. What was the one before it called? Like, not Absolution. Was it? Do you know what I'm on about?
Blood Money?
No, it was like it was that awkward one in between them, where it was the one where like you'd queue up targets and then press triangle and do the death blow and all of them.
Oh yeah.
Was
it Absolution?
I think that was Absolution. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was It was barely a Hitman game. It was more of a third-person shooter.
Can you hear my dog?
No.
No, you're all right.
Sorry, the girls have just gone out for Father's Day, and my dog's a needy little bitch, and it's squealing. And I just wanted to bring that up in case you could hear a dog squealing in the background. And I'm about to talk about killing virtual dogs in a minute, and I didn't want anyone to think I've took it too far. All right. But yeah, I'm finding that I can quite quickly reestablish stealth. And long story short, apart from shotgun ammo, pistols and shit, I am also frivolous and bountiful in the sort of shit that I'm wielding.
I played it on normal as well, and I was always like well stocked on everything, like ammo, bombs, traps, med kits, Molotovs. I was always stocked to the brim pretty much.
I think the big difference in this game, right, is that in the first one, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I remember, all the stealth kills and shit kind of relied on you crafting shivs, whereas on this you have a knife, a permanent shiv, so you don't have to limit that, so you can literally stealth kill 5 enemies back to back with nothing.
Well, they in the first one you could like strangle them. It was like so you grab them and it's like strangle or shiv, and then but
it took longer to strangle them, and you risked getting spotted.
And you couldn't do it on like you couldn't do it on clickers,
Yes, that's what it was. Yeah, whereas this, you've got the knife the whole way through, haven't you? Yeah.
So it's a really difficult game to talk about because it's about. I mean, the back of the box, all it tells you about is the story and but you can't really discuss story without, ruining it for anyone who wants to play it. So,
I want to say one thing about the story. If I can, that's not.
I know. I was building up to the idea that I think we can discuss it, but you just have to. If you want to go in completely to The Last of Us 2, we're not going to ruin any big plot points or anything like that. But we might, maybe don't listen to this podcast if you want to go in completely.
Yeah, because even just saying something happens in the first 2 hours, you're going to expect something, aren't you?
Mm-hmm. Well, exactly, and there's going to be gameplay. We've talked a little bit about. Items and stuff like that, but beyond that, it's going to be difficult without ruining at least something if you want to go in completely cold. Well, so I reckon that's a fair warning.
Do you know so speaking of that, when the game leaked, which was so the kind of backstory on this, in case people just don't really remember, people listening, I know that you guys know, was that the game was delayed, right, indefinitely, a couple of months ago. There was no real mention of why. I assume it might have been something to do with COVID or something like that, because of the nature of the game or something, but no one really knows. But the game was delayed and there wasn't another release date. And then footage leaked. Loads of footage leaked of the game. We're talking like 45 minutes of straight gameplay. The entire plot summary points were all put out there. And yeah, the game leaked. And then as soon as that happened, magically 24 hours later, Naughty Dog were like, oh, we've got a new date next month. And there we go. And it's the game we've got today. And the game, from what I'm playing, seems like it's a finished game. Doesn't feel very glitchy or whatever. Don't know if you guys have had the same thing.
No, it's good. It's good.
So which is what kind of made me think that maybe that it is something related with the COVID crisis that they delayed it, because it, the game is about an infection killing people. What? I saw a spoiler anyway when that leaked. Yeah, saw a spoiler about something that happens at the end of the game, and then to my surprise, that didn't happen. I remembered. I only heard one spoiler, and I was like, okay, so I know that happens. And then I got 2 hours into the game or so, and I was like, oh, guess that doesn't happen then. Yeah. So that was quite good in a way. It was like a fake spoiler, because so in my head I was building up for this. Well, I know that this happens, and then something else happens, which means that the thing I heard can't be true. So I was like in a good position then. Because I was like, I'm immune. So now I don't know where it's going.
I think this is something that when you finished it yesterday, Liam, you kind of mentioned, narratively, perhaps it's not quite as quite so strong as you would perhaps a game living and dying on its narrative to be.
Yeah, so like a lot of the marketing, especially for this game, has been centered around sort of like the themes of the story. Like, violence, revenge, and all that, and hatred, and whatever else. Yeah. And, narratively, it doesn't go deeper than, like, very surface level stuff, like some very, like, I'm trying to, like, be vague without spoiling it.
Well,
it does, it does a bit of, Spec Ops The Line type stuff with, like, sort of...
entirely... I feel like it does that from the beginning. I can see that, like, and even in the emails that they were sending out about the dogs, that way you're gonna they were promising how you're gonna feel about killing the dogs and stuff, and which me and Jake have both said, we I really didn't want to feel anything when I was killing the dogs because of an email that said you're gonna feel so
well. Like do you know what? When you remember that email, and this is not really a spoiler, but I'm going to talk about something specific to the gameplay. The very, very, very beginning, you start off in like kind of the the settlement or whatever, and there's a dog, and you can just go past and pet it. And it's like, go on, boy. And then, like in The Last of Us universe, you're always picking up and reading letters. Well, like, there's an unusual amount about dogs in the first hour or two of gameplay. And then, you'll go maybe past a pet store or something like that. And I'm like, yeah. I'll kill 1,000 virtual dogs to give in. Yeah. And I've got to tell you, I claw hammered the fuck out of a dog last night. Didn't care. So
exactly. I was, do you know? Yeah. It's like Liam was saying, right? They've talked a lot. This is what I found personally off-putting about the whole game to begin with, because they were telling me, like, oh, this is how you're going to feel. It's going to be really emotional. It's going to be, it's got a fucking story. I know it's got a story. It's, that's the kind of game it is. I don't like how they were talking about story as a feature, right? Which you never get in any other fucking medium. They would never tell you, like, about a film, like, oh, it's going to be so, you're going to feel every moment, and you're going to be
feel-good movie of the summer. But if the guy who wrote it said that, it just doesn't happen. It's normal. Leave that for the fucking Guardian, innit? You don't have to tell us.
Exactly. Absolutely. And that is even, I wouldn't mind so much if they were saying the feel-good movie of the summer, but they're not. They're saying this is a deep and emotional and difficult, challenging story with, contemporary themes. And that's what they're saying. They're not saying feel-good film of the summer even, right? So
imagine if they did.
Yeah, so I've like almost been like consciously trying to push back against that, like Spec Ops The Lining, as Liam said.
I know you.
Fuck these dogs.
You and your silent protest. I knew when I was. Do you know what? Yeah, Mike is always with me. He's like a fucking snarky ghost. Yeah, to the point where like I'm playing it, and I can hear Mike in my head moaning about stuff. Right, that's the state in our relationship where we're at. So The Last of Us has got like a solemn, emotional song at the beginning. And I can imagine Mike in my head going, oh, here we go. Do you know what I mean? And it's
So,
almost like, and then there's a bit I texted you about it yesterday, innit, where it ruined it for me because I heard some archive footage, and I was like, I better tell Mike about this archive footage, and I just like,
yeah,
sorry, Liam.
I was just gonna say, like, probably my biggest complaint with the game is how it handles its like narrative themes and stuff, because it's just like it's very like film school level, I guess. Like, it's stuff that like an 18-year-old who's just took their first film studies class would think this is how you make a dark, edgy script. And like, there's a moment. This isn't a spoiler, by the way. It's a completely optional moment in the game where there's an area you can explore. It's like an apartment building. It's an optional area. You don't have to go anywhere near it, but you're encouraged to, because it's like, oh, there might be some loot in there. And you pick up a letter, and then out of nowhere, this guy just comes up behind you, tries choking you to death. And it's like, you've got to fight back against him. His friends come in the room. They're all trying to kill you. You kill them all. You go into the room they were hiding, and then you can pick up a note. And it's a note one of these people's written. It's like, oh, I miss my dear wife. How I long to be with you again. And you can just like, you can feel the writers of the game standing over your shoulder going, I bet you feel like shit, don't you? And it's like, well, no, I don't feel like shit, because you literally forced this situation where the only option was extreme violence. So you can't really make the player feel bad about killing a virtual person when they were given no choice about it whatsoever.
I feel like if you've got to that point of the game as well, you've left a wake of hundreds of bodies behind you.
Yeah.
So
here we go.
At this point, it like for the weight to matter, you need to have probably if that was the first person you killed, and they'd really like put some keystone moment on Ellie's first kill being oh, I had to do it. I really had to do it, and she keeps that note with her, and she's always looking at it and shit. Maybe that would give some gravity, but the fact that like at that point you're just the next Derek. Because that's another thing about the game that makes me laugh, right? That's the only thing that they've kind of done to kind of pretend to give a shit. It's like I kill someone and then you hear someone go, Sandy, Deborah! And I'm like, I don't get, fuck off. All I use that for is like the bat signal to find them and kill them as well. It's like...
That's I think what, that's what I've been feeling as well about. And, I say about it's like, adventure, and I don't really give a shit. Like, I just... I can't take it as seriously as Naughty Dog wants me to take it because of the amount of killing to story, but I still enjoy it. I still enjoy Uncharted, and I enjoy Nathan Drake as a character and stuff. But
I think
so, especially like, oh, you're gonna feel it and stuff. But then, like I was saying before, if I was tallying how many people, I walk into an area, that's 6 deaths straight away, right? Everyone's fucking dying, okay? I'm killing all of them. I'm killing their dogs. I'm reading all their letters. I don't care. Something happened yesterday where I kind of like stabbed someone in the neck, right? Like this. Got rid of the throat. Turned around, picked up a superhero card and went, oh, I haven't got this card. And put it in my backpack and carried on walking. That's the behavior of a fucking... If that was Norman Bates, like, all right, okay. It's like psychopathic.
I feel like, and I feel the thing is, I can see why it's pissing so many people off, right? To be honest with you, because apart from the weirdos that are just, oh, there's lesbians in it. The one thing I think that is a problem is that everybody on the internet gets told that they're right all the time, and so people are getting more and more and more. Well, people are getting told they're right all the time, but when you've got some views that are kind of deplorable, you get talked down to a lot. Yeah. And I feel like there's nothing anybody hates more on the internet than being talked down to, right? Patronized. Normally, that's something very, very obvious, like, oh, there's no freedom of speech anymore. But for this, when you're talking down to people about things like this, it's going to rile them up. And I feel like that's what they're doing. But it's what I'm finding annoying about it is that I should be their target audience for this game, right? I'm a nice guy. Don't mind killing a dog or two. But at the end of the day, I'm susceptible to their message. I like the idea of them telling a nice story, a new story. What they did in the first act of the game hasn't upset me as much as it's upset a lot of people.
Oh, no. I want to make that entirely clear as well. I love what the game is focusing on and who, and I love Ellie as a character, and I love the characters around her, and I love what happens in the opening act, and it's it's fine. It's like I've seen it before in Walking Dead, God knows how many times, but I don't,
Well, I was just about to.
It's a good sequel disaster. Which, like, you look at Mass Effect 2, what happens? The Normandy gets destroyed. Shepard,
right on.
You got, there's got to be like an inciting kind of something, and that going into the Last of Us 2, that something's got to happen, right?
I love. My favorite thing ever is when fans want something and they don't get it. Because
agreed.
You're the person that's made this world. You're in total control. Fuck you. And do you know what as well? Game of Thrones did it. And when I'm saying fuck you, I'm not saying it. I'm saying it. That's what they're saying. They're saying you want it to be one way and it's the other way, like Marlowe from The Wire. But when it comes to how they're telling the story, I'll tell you, I play a lot of these fucking girly little games, and I'll tell you 2 games that this reminds me of right on. The first 3 hours is nearly the exact same dynamic as Life is Strange 1, right? You can't tell me otherwise. It's so Life is Strange. It's unreal. And the second is, I don't know how many people played this, but the first act is very close to The Walking Dead Season 2 in a lot of ways, including the lodge, the new survivors, playing different people. There's a lot. There's really a lot. But we're talking that level writing. We're talking like teeny bopper.
Yeah.
Life is Strange, Chloe and Max dynamic.
I said One Tree Hill to you, but you're saying the same thing to me as far as I'm concerned. It's a lot of people talking about their relationship. And
shouts out One Tree Hill though. Do you know what I mean?
Whenever it's like 2 people like this, framed like this, having a conversation about their feelings, right? Yeah. It's One Tree Hill. That's how.
Think about One Tree Hill is they did a school shooting episode, which is braver than like any fucking show that did it.
Hey, okay, all right.
So shouts out One Tree Hill, but I think that's why people are annoyed then, basically, because what I'm trying to say is even somebody who doesn't want to find a reason to hate it, I'm not trying to shoehorn my already established opinion that I don't like it into the game and backtrack it. I want to like it, but the dynamic of this Ellie and Joel gruff dad takes on more responsibility than he wants to, but becomes a better person from it, versus this sort of 2 teenage girls finding their way in a world, but the twist is this world is full of zombies, is a bit, different.
You've seen it. You've seen Walking Dead, and the thing with The Last of Us part 1, I guess, that had like a clarity to it because it was a new world. It was like, okay, so we're going to do an apocalypse game. What's the story going to be? Okay, well, we want to travel. We want to go from A to. Okay, well, we got a guy and maybe he's got a girl with him and a girl. Okay, what if the girl's like immune and she's the cure? And so there's a clarity to it. 2 people are going across America to reach a destination. And then everything that happens along the way, you can have Joel changing as a character there. You can have Ellie, developing as a character. You can, it's a really simple and to understand, clear thing. So they've got to do that again in The Last of Us 2. You can't just be meandering. Except in the opening, they need an edit. They need an editor. They need to there's just too much okay, now you're playing as this person. Now you're playing as this person. Now you're playing as this person. Here's their perspective.
It was very episodic.
And we're going to go back in time, and now we're going to go forward in time. It doesn't need all of that. There's a little bit of that in The Last of Us. And I even think you could remove the very beginning of The Last of Us Part 1, the very, very opening. But imagine, just for fun, imagine if the game started with just Joel waking up, and you didn't know anything about Joel and who he was. As developing, you kind of realized that he had a daughter and lost his daughter. That kind of it would be better if they just removed this bit or changed it.
It's not on the nose enough for the gamers, though, isn't it? It needs to be
on the nose. Is I guess what the problem is.
That's the thing. With The Last of Us 2, I think the story would have been better served if they take probably the middle part of the game and put that first, and then led up to this like moment that happens, because otherwise it just feels like it just feels like it comes out of nowhere.
Yeah. All right. So yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because
So that's two. So that, I've been thinking about that, and Liam has got a thought about that as well. So it shows that it's just not, you know.
Well, yeah. Like the thing, what it does, is it does mess with the pacing of it. The thing with The Last of Us is it's like a very, very simple to follow, really gradual ramp. But this, it's like peaks and troughs, big time, big moments of action, and then it's like, meanwhile, 2 years ago. Yeah. You know, and that'll just randomly scatter free. And what that does as well is it lowers the stakes like significantly to the point where, like, meandering is definitely the way to say it. But there's this sort of The Last of Us DLC vibe to it, where it is Life is strange as fuck. It's literally, here's a room. Go and have a look at that notepad. Go and have a look. There's a guitar. Why don't you press triangle on that and see what it does? It's like gadgets and gizmos kind of stuff. But really, you just want to kind of push forward with the story. I think, though, that ultimately, like I don't think I'm going to change my opinion by the end of it, and I'll be happy if I do, though. That I think I am missing the point. Well, I'm not missing the point. I understand that. I'm just rejecting the point. Yeah. By my favorite part, I like the game. I'm doing a lot of moaning, but I like the game because I like the murdering in it. I like sneaking around and I like the murdering. And I think that they're going to tell me that what I'm doing is wrong. But I'm just going to go, don't care. And that's going to be my relationship with The Last of Us 2, isn't it? Yeah. It's going to say, look at what you've done. And I'll go, yeah. And that's it. Yeah. So,
it's, I think they're like, it's a real, I respect them for trying to challenge, what people like me have been saying about Uncharted and Last of Us, the original Last of Us and stuff, like, the kill count versus the story, and I respect that they're trying to like do something with that, and again, that's visible from the very beginning. It's on the fucking box, the packaging around the game, the trailers, everything is telling you about how you're going to feel bad about all the killing you're doing. Like Jake said, the characters now, instead of being like just video game goons with hoods and a baseball bat and like a denim vest thing on top of it, and they're just, who are they? These are people called Sandra and stuff.
Well,
they're wearing khakis and stuff a lot of the time.
No, they are video game goons with denim jackets, but their denim jackets have "Hi, my name is Isaac"
that's what
stickers on.
That's what I'm saying. They've dressed them in like cargo pants, and they're called Deborah, and they're like, oh shit, hey Deborah, are you okay? Deborah, like that, right? But they're still just white. You press R1, and they're just like a white outline walking around. Yeah.
Do you know what that is? That's future vision, and you can see that the ghosts that they are, innit? That's what's going to happen when I'm done with them.
Yeah, like
fucking ghosts.
Go on then.
I was just saying, like, it's a shame, really, because like the gameplay, I think, is great. Like the shooting feels good, the stealth is great. Isn't it?
Yeah, like that's the fucking problem. The shooting feels amazing.
It's so polished. Like the gameplay is great, the animation is top notch, the facial animation especially is like uncanny valley levels of good, and like
sound design is great as well. I've been listening to the PlayStation headset while I've been playing it, and like virtual surround sounds amazing.
Yeah, like it's just the production value and the gameplay of it is so like high quality, but then it's just the narrative is pulling you through with like, well, personally, I felt it didn't go anywhere. The point it was making is not like a strong point to make when really it's something that everybody on the planet thinks, yes, I agree with that. You don't have to spend 25 hours telling me violence is bad.
I think that's the problem on the internet. I'm not afraid to say it. I feel like there's a lot of people who don't like this game for reasons that they don't really want to say, aka there's lesbians in it. But rather than just say that, because of course they can't look wrong on the internet, they're saying, nah, I hate it for all these other reasons. Like, it's not that. And I feel like there's plenty of reasons to find the game a bit eye-rolling, like this mission, but the game as a game is pretty cool. Like story-wise, I think what's annoying is we watch a lot of films, and if you listen to our bonus podcast that we do on Patreon, that wasn't a plug, I was just mentioning that's the only time we ever talk about it. We talk like quite in depth about a lot of films a lot of the time.
Well, and I guess like this, and that's what we're doing. Like if they want to be on how good the story is and how much of an emotional impact it's having. Well, here we go. This is what we're doing.
That's what I mean. But I know this is
how I'm thinking about it.
Basically, yeah, I know this is going to sound cunty, yeah, but just please bear with me and just afterwards think, haha, Jake, you're just being a dick. But I feel like for the people GameSpot review films now for some reason. GameSpot review films. And I feel like if you do, really, really enjoy those level films, maybe it is going to be new and different and exciting. But if you care about anything that isn't the Marvel Connected Universe, you probably would have seen this story done in a much better way. And do you know what? Yeah, if you've ever seen a Western, you've seen the story done in a better way. And so, so far it gets no props for being a Life is Strange ripoff with zombies. But I am going to...
Technical achievement is, I guess, what we're talking about, isn't it?
And I love the murdering.
Good, but
the
murdering
you know what? Yeah,
great.
What I like it's the melee kills that I like because it's like. You know what I mean?
Get on the rifle. Honestly, the rifle is so loud and so fucking...
Well, you know
the
what,
shotgun
boys?
was where it was.
This is the first game I've ever played with a soundbar, so I don't just have the flat TV speakers now. And because the game's dead stealthy, for me anyway, when it starts going off, it's going off.
Loud.
My front room is blaring, blasting.
Yeah.
I feel it. I'm feeling every trigger pull now because I've got this big thing in there. So it's like,
it's
ace.
I've had to sit with my TV remote dead close because I've been playing it in surround sound, and my god, when it goes from dialogue to action, the room was the dialogue barely audible, gunfire happens, the room's shaking.
Well, it's got amazing audio settings, isn't it? The options menu's fucking ace. You can really and it knows when you've connected the headset as well, because it automatically changes from your headset options to your soundbar options. It's really good. And
there's a part in the game, without a spoiler, where there's a mine that goes off. Can you remember that part?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a quiet part of the game, and a mine goes off. It was 11:15 at night, right? Everyone's asleep in my house. My neighbours might have phoned the police, for all I know. So it's technically amazing.
Yeah, the sound was good for the horror moments as well. There was a few good scares that got me quite good at points.
Yeah, the horror element of it is good.
Visually really good. They do some good stuff with flares, which you probably screenshots and stuff like that. But there's some really really visually interesting stuff. HDR looks amazing. It's scary and it, never in a way, because I've got loads of resources and I'm playing it on medium. I've never been how the fuck am I going to get out of this? I'm generally more get the fuck out of my way. Do you know what I mean? I'm trying to get through the level. I've not
they got to
really
get through you.
Yeah, exactly mate. And I've not had that kind of sense of gameplay sense of fear, which I guess goes back to what I was saying right at the beginning. Maybe I should have put it on hard or something, because there's just I've got a lot of bullets, I've got a lot of Molotovs. If anything is a bit scary, I'll put it on fire. What's it going to fucking do? It's on fire.
Well, that's exactly it for me. My only fear is because I've set myself the challenge of I need to get through here undetected. Yeah. But that's me setting that. I can turn it off at any point.
And that's what I played Last of Us, just going from normal to hard in the original Last of Us. That you do genuinely then suddenly, okay, I haven't got too many bullets here. I better just avoid these people without even stealth killing them if possible. Just don't. It's not even worth it. Just and it does make you think. It's a bit more kind of survivally. So I think maybe that needs flagging somehow to new players. It maybe just go in easy, normal, hard, or whatever the option. They've changed the words, but that's essentially what it is. Mm-hmm. Maybe they should highlight a little bit more if you want a survival experience. Choose this difficulty.
The difficulty options in Last of Us 2 sound like a weather report. It's very light, moderate, severe.
Yeah. Torrential.
Yeah.
Torrential difficulty. Yeah.
Or the spice chart at Nando's or something.
Yeah. Very spicy. That's someone's got to have done that. That's so good. But yeah, so overall I do enjoy the game, to be fair. I am. It's that nice polished experience I was looking for. I'm I'm glad that I'm in a position where I'm just eye rolling at the story because everything else is so solid.
Yeah.
It means, so many games are plagued these days with like proper just general fucking jank. So to be able to play a nice game that's polished, and considering, like I say, it was delayed indefinitely, and then it comes back surprisingly announced within a month, and then boom, it's this good. I commend it for that, and I'm looking forward to finish it. I think I'm going to leave the game feeling happy. Like I feel like So I guess probably next week I'll have an update on it. But
that's it's. Sorry, what are you saying, Mike?
No, go on, Liam. You go.
I was just gonna say I feel pretty much the same way Jake does. Where like I came away from the game, having finished it, it's like that was a good game. Like I don't regret my purchase at all. It's like, like bit eye rolling at the story and the themes of it, but everything else was like top notch.
Yeah, completely. No, it's ridiculous to say. I'm a little bit. I can't see it being like game of the generation and stuff, which I've seen. To me, that is a little bit like boyhood syndrome, which I've said it's the latest great game, so it's it's the game of the generation.
Yeah.
But I think like God of War was more of a surprise for me, and there's a lot of parallels in these AAA games. These Sony exclusives now, they're kind of like there's a bit of a blur between them in terms of like.
Yeah, no, totally. I was thinking about that. There's whenever I see somebody with a child looking at a deer, I'm like, God
Is
of
there
War.
a bow and arrow?
Yeah, exactly. Is it Horizon Zero?
Yeah.
But that's. It'll have to do something very, very special for me to tell me that it was a better, structurally and narratively better game than God of War to be game of the generation.
And God of War, I would argue, knows its medium a bit better. And I've been thinking about this a lot as well, where Breath of the Wild is another game that people are saying game of the generation, best game ever kind of thing. But I would say Breath of the Wild knows what it is. It's a better than what The Last of Us Part 2 does, because The Last of Us Part 2 is desperately using TV and film influence, whereas Breath of the Wild is just about being a game.
That's Japan for you, isn't it? They know how to make games as a medium.
And I can say that without. I didn't enjoy Breath of the Wild as much as most people, but I can appreciate that it's probably a more successful game than The Last of Us Part 2, because The Last of Us Part 2, a lot of it at the beginning is put your controller down, watch it, and when you've got your controller, push up on the analog stick, and that's it. And it's like that for ages.
This is why I buy crisps when a big game comes out, because I know that the first 20 minutes is just going to be me eating crisps.
You've played some Kojima games, haven't you, mate?
Yeah, exactly. But when you're playing Breath of the Wild, good luck. Eat beforehand, innit?
Fuel up for all the calories you're going to be
burning. Or is this is just like popcorn moment, innit? So, cool.
But I'm on one level I love it. On one level I think it's fucking awesome, and then on another level, and this is directly because of the packaging around it, the literal physical packaging, which has got Ellie snarling on the cover like a dog, and then on the back it's got a load of bullet points about how I'm going to feel, and and all the trailers and the first reveal trailer, and without all that, I probably would be feeling very different about this game right now.
But there's one thing I want to mention. There was this one part of the game where the game just all of a sudden shot up by about 20 points in my head on the 10-point scale.
I know exactly what you're. Yeah.
No, I don't. No, you don't. Because it didn't happen. I thought something happened that didn't happen, right? A character was saved by a pair of hands. And I thought, and then that character turned around and I thought nobody was there. And I thought, that is fucking amazing, right? Because it's like teachings. But no, it was actually just some fucking one was just out of shot. I was like, no. Yeah. I thought, oh my God, are we going there? Are we? I'll tell you after the call real quick. But yeah.
Okay. I know. I think I know what you mean.
I thought the game was going somewhere very, very, very interesting, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
So, shit.
There's a point in the game for me which did happen, and I thought, okay, do you know what? I actually fucking love that. That's really good.
Yeah.
But other than that, there's not been too many story things that have really kind of blown me away. But like I said, I do really enjoy it. There's something
At
really
the
good about
moment-
opening drawers.
Can I just say, would you recommend it for people who have played the first one? 'Cause some
Who
people
have?
online. Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you think-
I was not excited about this at all. I didn't want to buy this through all the trailers and stuff, and it's only in the last, like I said, few weeks that I've tried to get into it.
Yeah.
Partly because I've got a gaming podcast, but also partly because, it's like one of the last big AAA games for this generation. So yeah, of course play it. Of course fucking play it. I think the only reason I would say you definitely should not, is if you're too young or you're not into the idea of watching someone's throat getting slashed out every sort of few minutes, because that happens a lot.
It does happen a lot.
If you're too young. Yeah, it's true. It's really
You know
true.
what I mean? But otherwise, just do it. I think it's so polished and so well made, and the world is so good to, it feels good to be like, okay, what's in that building? What's in that building? What's in that building? It's the design of all the levels and stuff is great.
I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people with a lot of feelings about it, but I just want to say, if you're listening this far, big respect to you. And if you're going to leave a comment, or if you already have, just edit it and make sure that you're being respectful to spoiler stuff, and be subtle and look down at your comment and just check it and think,
am I
don't
being...
be like, as subtle as you want to be. Be as subtle as you should be in it. Just properly look at it and just be respectful of spoilers. Just because I'm seeing.
And if you're thinking the word agenda or anything like that, fuck off and don't leave a comment.
Agenda. Yeah, shouts out the word agenda, which agenda and what's the other word I've been seeing a lot? I don't know. Diatribe or something in it. So I can't remember what it was. Can't have seen it that much. But so The Last of Us 2. That's the early stage views.
Yeah.
Liam's finished it in 48 hours.
Is this going to be getting speed run, Liam? Are you going to be doing this one again?
I might go back on the New Game Plus, because you do get New Game Plus when you finish it, like the original one. I might go back just to record some gameplay footage for the archive in case I ever need footage to edit and stuff, or
nice.
I might try and get some more trophies just because I like trophies.
Yeah,
but
and if you skip all the cinematics, you probably only got to play it for about 3 hours. So,
well, a lot of the cinematics are in,
true.
like Mike was saying, a lot of the cinematics are in game where you've just got to hold the analog stick forward while dialogue plays out. So, but I can't imagine myself replaying this game in the near future. Maybe a couple of years down the line, if they enhance it for PS5 or something, and they're look at it now, it's got ray tracing. I might give it another go, but I'm not gonna replay the entire game in the foreseeable. Although I do like it. It is a good game. I would recommend it.
Well, a replay is a big thing, and this is it's kind of teetering on that kind of Assassin's Creed. It's a bit more of an undertaking playing through the first Last of Us, because that was a 12-hour linear, just go from A to B, and there's a little bit of a little bit of exploration, but not really. Whereas this has got some real,
and it's a long game too.
Yeah,
25 hours to get through it.
And I think that the sense of openness is great, but I think that's what adds to the time. A lot of it, it's not necessarily just an open area. It's just getting from one bit of open this gate to start this generator just takes a little bit longer than it would have done in the original Last of Us,
for sure.
and then multiplied over 12-15 hours or whatever. It takes a while. Anyway, right, so that's The Last of Us Part 2. That was about 45 minutes, I think, wasn't it?
That was a deep dive
discussion. But I guess it calls for it, doesn't it? I guess it calls for it.
Yeah.
I did have some other things on the list here, but just feels unnecessary now. So I'm going to jump to an email.
Okay.
A very important email. Succinct as well, which I like a lot. If you want to send us an email, the address is dearspecialmoves@gmail.com. It's dearspecialmoves@gmail.com.
If you make it a haiku, Mike is going to read it.
Yeah, which this basically is. Dear Special Moves, Skate 4. Thank you for your time. Best wishes, Andrew from Paisley in Scotland.
Oh,
Skate 4 is the message from Andrew there.
yeah.
Jake, what do you got any comments about that?
Yep. I fucking loved it, man. Do you know what? Yeah, everyone was happy for me. It was like my birthday when that happened. I woke up, to a couple of DMs from Special Moves listeners, and my wife doesn't give a shit about video games, but she occasionally watches a podcast. She did from the Pretty Good Gaming days, even. So she has established that there is a firm fandom of Skate 4 that exists on the internet, and I am one of them. And she was really happy for me. Everyone on the internet is very, very happy for me. And I just want to say thanks for all your love and support. It's all about me. The game has got no date. We haven't seen it. We don't know anything. We've just got these two dudes that look like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles if they were 40-year-old men talking about, you finally let us out of the cell. It was just like, there was a rumor that it was a free-to-play mobile game in development in the Skate universe, and now there's going to be a new Skate game. There's a lot of imitators out there making these Skate rip-offs. There's also a game called Skate Bird, about a bird that skateboards. But I don't think anything is going to scratch the itch that Skate has created. Skate 3 is fucking beautiful. It's this nice little sandbox skateboarding game, if you don't know. And I'm very, very excited to play it. Of course, when I played Skate 1, 2, and 3, I used to skateboard as a kid, Could do a little flip and everything. Not a backflip, a kickflip. But then, I wasn't skateboarding no more, and I was enjoying it. So now, I'm going to be literally, by the time the game comes out, I'm going to be over 30 years old, probably. I'm going to be a 30-plus dad playing a skateboarding game, fucking shredding it to the gnar or whatever the fuck they all say. And it's going to feel really weird. I'm going to feel conflicted playing it, but I'm going to have a whale of a time. I'm looking forward to it.
I think it's okay, because I think Tony Hawk was about 95. Still going.
Yeah, Tony Hawk's building an empire. But yeah, it's funny that Tony Hawk's coming back, and then EA were like...
Yeah. I was going to say, do you reckon it's a response to the Tony Hawk remasters, this, and how, the big reception? Because they got a lot of love when they announced those remasters. So do you reckon,
And I think so. EA had this weird thing that's kind of not really happening much with EA anymore, where they were making games and putting a huge focus on what two joysticks can do. Remember, that was sort of kind of main mechanic of that. Like another EA fucking spectacular.
Stole it from Ape Escape.
Yeah, exactly, man. Yeah, respect where it's due, man. Mm-hmm. But Fight Night as well, I'd kill for another Fight Night, especially if they had all the current heavyweights and shit. It would be fucking insane. But I don't think I'm going to get that either. Maybe next year. But I gave up on Skate 4 to the point where we even spoke about EA the night before it happened, and I didn't even bring it up to you guys because my dreams were dead. But now that it's back on, it's just like this. All right, it was like it was like the Elder Scrolls 6, isn't it?
Yeah.
I feel like what happened was EA looked at that list of games that they had for EA Play, and they were like, "This is quite shit. Let's give them something." I don't know. Make a couple of calls. And because the two guys that were on that Zoom call, I had to just woke up out of bed and found out it was still on. They were literally like, guys, we're back. We're back. We're gearing up for the best skate game yet. See you later. That's what it was. It was that energy. It was like when I'm on a call for work and somebody asks me a question and I've not been listening, it was that energy. That same energy where I have to just scramble for an answer quickly. So I just, although I'm excited, they haven't shown me anything, have they? It's just empty promises at the moment.
Yeah.
So, but the fact that it's alive, yes. And I can't wait to, stand on the soapbox and start talking about Skate when we get closer to the time.
I would find that very exciting if it was like Knights of the Old Republic. If they were just like, hey, guys, Knights of the Old Republic 3 is happening, right? See you soon. If it was just that, I'd be pretty excited.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
especially because you've been wanting it for like a long. Come on, Jake.
Yeah, no, I am really looking forward to it. I don't think. Do you guys didn't play Skate much? Did you?
A little tiny little bit.
It's so fucking fun. Like it's like a big sandbox, but you can like make your own. You can make your own like the way it's got like a map editor inside the map is really cool, but it's all quite kinetic. So you can like just physically drag dumpsters, which you've been playing The Last of Us 2, so you know how to do that. But you can do that. You can pull all these things, and you can make your own little setups. And there's all sorts of things you can do. You can literally make your entire time about trying to break as many bones in your body as you want. Like there's a lot there for people that it's a good skateboarding adventure, man. I'm looking forward to continuing it. Innit?
I mean, which one of the Tony Hawk games was like a fucking RPG?
Tony Hawk Underground.
Underground,
yeah. Thug 1 and 2.
Where you had like a massive character creator and stuff, and you could...
Skate is like basically that, but 100 times better. Basically, right. It's the ultimate. Like it's so cool. And then the fact that there was like thumbstick action was required to do the tricks meant that it did feel a bit more skill based. Like you had to and memorizing things and stuff like that was really cool. So, and the online was amazing. It was so fun to play online. It was a bit like GTA 5 where you could have a lobby, just an open lobby, and you could all dick around in the world, or you could do specific challenges and. Or you could do teams, man. It's sick. It was
you are excited.
Yeah, for sure. Like it's been a long time since the Xbox Party Chat days in high school. Do you know what I mean? That's when I last played it. I was in high school when I last played it, and now look at me. So who knows, man? Who knows?
When you were like half your age, which is quite a scary thought, isn't it?
Yeah, no, for fucking in a couple of years, it'll be half my life ago. So yeah, exactly.
That's how long you've been waiting for this. So,
yeah, and I'm really happy. I just wish that there was like a date or something. I'm hoping it's next year. Like Skate and Elden Ring coming out in the same year will be mwah.
So that was a nice email from Andrew about Skate 4. Very well written. Good job putting that together, mate. Got another one here from rural Australia. Mr. John Brennan, writing from rural Australia, who says
John Brennan sounds such like an MP.
That's cool. John Brennan. It's a cool name. I'd be happy with John Brennan.
It's cool, man. It sounds like somebody that I would write a letter to, though, to get shit done about the bin collection in my area. Shouts out you, though, John. I'm sure you're really nice. Like,
great. Go on, now that we've got that established, let's read John's email. Right, John says, "Dear Special Moves, good lad, John. Really enjoy your stuff. While I've always had an interest in gaming, I've really picked up the pace in the last couple of years and have enjoyed hearing what is worth my time as a relative noob. I've been focused more on rugby in my youth and was privileged enough to have it take me around the world. More recently, I've been coaching and playing in the Netherlands for a couple of years before moving back to Melbourne in Australia. One thing that came with me and some close mates through all of it was a Nintendo 64. Getting the most from Smash Brothers and Mario Kart over the years, and being almost blinded to the advancements in gaming. But that is no longer. The last couple of years, I have been pulled in by getting a PS4, then a Switch, and a few weeks ago, I built my first PC since the childhood days of Doom 2 and Lemmings. Currently, I'm diving into Warhammer 2 based off of Mike's recommendations. That's Total War, I guess.
This email is such Mike bait.
And I've collected an array of free stuff to try from the Epic Store. So he's got a lot of free games from Epic Store.
Yeah.
But I'm curious as to what you guys consider absolute must plays. Also, what do you think of the PS5 look? I think it will look great in the inevitable all black version. Keep up the good shit, John Brennan from
That's a really good email. Do you know what?
Email.
Yeah. An email from somebody traveling the world internationally, gone through the history from the N64, building PCs. That's an awesome email, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and that's not just me apologizing for telling me sounds like an MP, but that's cool. And do you know what? Do you know what I like to hear? What makes me happy on a very, very base level? Somebody who's a bit of a noob, like he's a self-described noob, gets a free PC. What's the first thing that they do? Get the Epic Game Store. Boom, they've got loads of good free games.
Yeah.
Can't fucking go wrong with the Epic Game Store's free game output lately. They've been putting out some slammers, to be honest. And yeah, and another thing is, a lot of their games that they've been putting out are like games that a lot of people think are must plays. So, it's a good way to go for the classics.
Where do you even begin though in it? Must plays for someone who's not, it's essentially kind of a blank slate here of like,
Yeah.
It's like waking up from a coma and just being like, "Oh shit, I love video games. I haven't played anything. What should I play?"
So I think I told you this last week. It might have been in a bonus podcast, but so my sister-in-law, she only played the PS1. She hasn't played any consoles since, right? So then for Christmas, I got her an Xbox One with Game Pass. Mm-hmm. And her going into Game Pass is like that, like waking up from this coma. And there's all these games like The Witcher 3 and you got Kingdom Hearts and whatnot. But I guess, do you know what I would say? Yeah, it's not even one of my favorites, but the way that it is constantly updated and there's mods if you want to go down that route. But I think it's essential PC gaming. It's a very, very boring answer, but it's Half-Life 2. I think that is about as good as it gets for a lot of things.
Disagree.
Yeah. What's a better FPS than Half-Life 2?
I reckon for someone who's been not involved, right, for a long time, and now they're just so. Bear in mind, he's got a PS4 and a Switch and a PC, okay. So he can get most Microsoft games on the PC as well, and so you essentially pick the bunch there. Has enjoyed Smash Brothers and Mario Kart, Doom 2 and Lemmings, and Warhammer 2. So that's a bit of a mix of stuff there. Those are the only games that we know that he's played and enjoyed.
Right.
I would say if you're coming out from the cold, just off the top of my head, get some of the fucking PS4 exclusives done. Mm-hmm. God of War, Horizon, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man?
Yeah, fuck it. Yeah. If you want to sit in front of your TV and like, all right, what's gaming to these days? Jesus Christ! You get a kid swinging through on Spider-Man. There is no other feeling in gaming like swinging in Spider-Man. Fucking all good. So I would say those.
Yeah.
I'd say don't fucking worry about Dark Souls and all that and Bloodborne and stuff. Just fucking
get Sekiro straight away. Fuck the rest. Get Sekiro.
Sekiro and Half-Life from Jake. I reckon that
Orcs must die.
Well. Yeah. Orcs must fucking die.
Orcs must die.
Right.
Half-Life 2, Limbo, and Sekiro. That's what I'm saying.
That's very interesting.
And I'm not trolling.
Yeah. That's very interesting. Limbo.
Yeah. Limbo is required reading. Play it and just understands that kickstarted the whole wave of these cute side-scrolling little indie game that's trying to make you feel, and it's like actually an allegory. It's always going to be either Limbo or Braid, and so get one of them two. But Braid's a bit more, you got to think a bit more in it. Get on Limbo. And
the great thing is, you can just get all of these, can't you? So there's no reason to.
Limbo is about 20p. Orcs Must Die is 79p.
You'll get Limbo cheap. Oh, you can get Limbo on the Switch. That'll be perfect on the Switch.
Limbo and Inside back to back. Get that, I would say, because you can get it's a combination, isn't it? They're good games, and what it is as well is that's basically the best of its best in class in it award. It's the best in its little genre of a side-scrolling indie game made by a couple of people that wants to make you think. Get them two, and then you've peaked, and you don't need to play the other Ori and the Will of the Wisps and all whatnot. So I
would say stay away from Destiny, anything that's got the word live in it, anywhere near it. Just don't. Yeah. You'd waste so much time on one of them.
Another thing to consider, in my opinion, is that a lot of games that are like PC Master Race staples that are actually quite shit. So what I mean by that is like DayZ is quite shit. Don't worry about it. If you look back, you'll see loads of people saying great things about that. Escape from Tarkov, PUBG.
Escape from Redacted, more like.
Yeah, edit that out. No, there's a load of these PC Master Race games that were held up because they were new and fresh. But now that the fun has worn off, like PUBG and shit, fuck all that, I would say.
I think, by the sounds of it, like Smash Brothers and Mario Kart and all that sort of stuff sounds like you'd be open to a bit of like, multiplayer fun and stuff.
Rocket League?
Rocket League is what I was going to say. Rocket League would be a fucking belter. That's so good for just physics and really, really accessible.
It's old now. It's like 5 years old, but you would never guess. Rocket League is one. Liam, what would you recommend for somebody who's like come out from a coma?
From the coma. Well, like with the Doom 2 previous experience on the FPS front, I'd recommend Doom 2016, of course. I'd say go for that one first before Eternal. So then, if you like, because not only is you can get it for dirt cheap now, if you like it, then you can move on to Eternal. Personally, I think 2016's better anyway. Titanfall 2 for the FPS front. That campaign, my God, what a campaign that is.
It's fucking ace.
And, or Apex, if you want a similar thing, but you want to see what if you want Battle Royale business is about.
Yeah, and I know this is breaking the live rule a little bit, but I would actually recommend Modern Warfare 2019, just for the sheer completeness of the package. Like, you got the campaign, which is good, co-op mode, which is decent enough, Warzone, multiplayer suite, you got it all, and then... I don't know what else. Like,
The Witcher, The Witcher 3.
Witcher's a given, yeah. I was going to say, like, RPGs is a difficult one because
to me, for somebody new, I wouldn't even go for Divinity or anything. I would say straight away, if you've not played anything, just fucking go for Skyrim. Skyrim is like,
and you can get it. Looks good, like it looks decent, and the special edition that you can get on all platforms now.
Skyrim is the only RPG I would recommend for somebody who's like woken out of this. Start there, and then you can figure out what you do and don't like about Skyrim, and then you can branch off. But Skyrim is kind of a good...
But I would add to that, maybe don't get it on the Switch, because I don't reckon you get the full... you got a PC, you got a PS4.
Get it on...
Definitely Skyrim. Skyrim.
I'd say go PC, because then that opens it up to the whole world of modding as well.
Yeah, and it'll probably, it'll look that much better, won't it, if he's got a decent PC.
Skyrim on PC is so nice, and like you're saying, like there's so many like beginner-friendly mods for the game that'll really help. But there's something very, very special about Skyrim. So yeah, most of these games I'm recommending are from exactly the same year. So like 2011.
2011.
Yeah, but yeah, that's it. That's nice. Making a little shopping list for somebody, isn't it?
Yeah. So enjoy them, John. Let us know how you got on. Give us a follow-up, and
we look forward to your dissertation in 6 months.
Yeah, if you want to send us an email, remember the address is dearspecialmoves@gmail.com. Thanks everyone who sent some in this week. Let's do the new games then, before we wrap up.
Can't believe we were so long on The Last of Us. I want to talk about Torchlight 3, but I'll save it for next week, innit? Can't believe we got baited in. Do you know what I mean?
Well, do you want to talk about it quickly, or do you want to do it next week?
No, there's no point. Instead, we'll do it next week. But basically, I played Torchlight 3, and it was free to play. But they've changed it, and I will get a lot further in and tell you about it next week.
Okay.
There you go.
So, new games. There's a couple of mobile stuff, mobile games and shit going on this week.
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts Dark Road is coming out on iOS and Android on the 22nd. Which is tomorrow, which is Monday, which is today, if you're listening. So that was very clear, wasn't it?
I actually don't know what this game is, I have no idea what... I've seen the logo. That's it.
Right.
I have no idea what it is. And
was it announced at the same time as the Rhythm game that they just announced?
I think it was, yeah.
So they announced, there basically is a Rhythm game coming out, which will be cool, because there's loads of Disney IP there that they can use. Lots of, battering fuck out of those shadow monsters to Let It Go hardstyle remix or something.
It's all about simple and clean, man. That's where it is.
Yeah, right. So you've got this Rhythm game, and I think it was announced at the same time. I think
if it's anything like because there was the Final Fantasy Theatre Rhythm games, and they were good on the 3DS. They were fun, and it's just like remixes of famous Final Fantasy songs. That was good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's our best guess, I suppose. We'll find out in a few hours. And then on the 23rd, which is the Tuesday, is a pretty busy day. I'll just run through a few of these quickly. Duke Nukem 3D is on 20th Anniversary World Tour. It's called is out on Nintendo Switch on the 23rd. It's a first-person shooter, obviously.
Like the 90th re-release of Duke Nukem, the original.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Little Town Hero is out on PS4. It's an RPG.
Is that
from the developers of Pokemon?
Yeah, that's the one that was like Project Village or whatever.
Yeah,
is that the one?
Project Town, I think it was.
Yeah, and it was a village. It was clearly a village.
Came out
I remember.
came out on the Switch first, and got pretty middling reviews.
Yeah, the reviews I remember, because it's Game Freak, isn't it? That's it. And the reviews were like, "This is quite whack."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just a lot of like weird. From what I remember, it was like a lot of weird gameplay mechanics that never quite gel together.
So look forward to that one.
Enjoy that, and then we've got SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom.
Yep, I'm about 4 hours into this on Switch.
It's a platformer from THQ Nordic. What platforms is it on?
PS4, Xbox, PC, and Switch. I've been playing it on Switch, and it's a PS2. It's a PS2 game remastered, basically.
It's a cult classic for some reason.
Yeah, and honestly, right, I'm shocked. So I work on like the launch of games, and I've launched like some big games this year, like Persona 5 Royale, which I think is the highest rated game of the year until The Last of Us came around, and Desperados 3, and But for some reason, this one is the one that's been requested by the most people. I don't know why. So I was like, maybe I've missed something. So I started playing it a couple of days ago. This isn't a review. All right, I started playing it, like, go on then. It's like 2 gig or 3 gig or something like that for like the version on my Switch, And I'm like, it's just a PS2 game. It's got that typical like collectathon thing of like get 10,000 flowers and then speak to Mr. Krabs and he'll open up the car park or whatever. Mm-hmm. But it seems to be a beloved classic. It's like one of them Simpsons hit and run things, isn't it? Where it's like, for some reason, people were just mad on it. Don't ask why. Don't question magic. So it's like one of them jobs. So basically, that's the best way to describe it. It's a lot of people's Simpsons hit and run.
I like that. Now I understand it.
These games were like a dime a dozen as well in that era of like PS2, Xbox. Like, I remember getting, when I was a kid, Taz Wanted on the GameCube, which is about the Tasmanian Devil, and I thought it was the best thing I'd ever played. I remember looking at reviews for it when I was older. It got like 4 out of 10 from everywhere. But I remember it being like some amazing platformer.
So that's what I'm interested in seeing. How many of these people that say that they want are gonna get it and have to pretend that they like it to show face? Because I've played it, and let me tell you, I'm not playing it again. Do you know what I mean? So look forward to that one as well.
Yeah. Okay. Vintage week so far then. Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, which is out on the Nintendo Switch and PS4 on the same day, on Tuesday the 23rd.
Yeah, another classic.
Pod racing.
It's another similar type of job, isn't it? Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah,
I think one of them, Star Wars Racer Revenge or something, is already on. Which is a similar type of thing.
Is it? Has it got a storyline?
I don't know.
Revenge.
Vaguely.
Always win the race, isn't it?
It's The Last of Us Part 2 of pod racing.
No, I know I played that on PS4, Mike. It's one of the PS2 backwards compatible games they released.
Yeah. Okay.
And it has got a storyline to it actually. And
it's called Revenge, man.
It's literally just like you play in a championship and you can play as different, like, I think the only character anyone's ever heard of will be Anakin and Sebulba, maybe.
Yeah, okay. And they're just made up, like, Star Wars-y names for the rest of them.
Yeah, and it's like some alien with 9 heads or whatever.
Yeah.
And
we like Star Wars. We're not making fun of Star Wars. We're big fans of Star Wars.
The first Racer game's good. I played it on I played it on Dreamcast. It's good.
On N64 as well, wasn't it? It was.
It was on.
Oh, I played it.
It was on PC, PS1, N64, and later the Dreamcast.
And now it's on Nintendo Switch for probably 35 quid.
Probably.
Yeah. Or you can get it in a bundle with some other Star Wars game for
like 2
quid.
I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure you can get it on GOG for the PC version for like 99p.
Yeah, GOG's good. I think people still kind of forget that a little bit. But
they are good.
There's loads of cool games on it. And then finally, Pokemon Cafe Mix, which is out on Switch.
This is such Liam. This is such a Liam game. Liam secretly loves those Pokemon puzzlers.
Well, this is like just a sort of management sim, free-to-play mobile type game.
Management sim?
It's not stopped you before.
Well, you manage
You
a
know what I mean?
you manage a cafe and you attract Pokemon, and you can get the Pokemon to work for you for presumably no money at all. So you don't have to
It
pay
sounds
them a
like that,
wage. I don't know.
You like a bit of the Yakuza, the club management. It's not going to be the same vibe as that, is it?
Probably. Well, no, because you don't recruit girls to be your hostesses, do you? In Pokemon,
You recruit Vileplumes.
you recruit
Do you know what I mean?
Vileplumes and Bulbasaurs, yeah. But I doubt
You're
this will
going to
be.
give it a go.
Well, it's free, maybe. I don't know. I'll probably play. I'll install because it's on Switch as well as mobile. So I'll probably download it, play it for an hour, and go and delete it. Which is
So there was
like what I did with Pokemon Quest, which is like that weird RPG battler.
the one that was very square looking.
Yeah, like voxely looking thing.
We didn't get a chance to go into it because of The Last of Us fucking taking over everything, all consuming like Ellie's revenge storyline. But there was quickly. Can we have a thumbs up or a thumbs down for Pokemon Snap 2? Well, how are we feeling about that?
I didn't see it.
Can I have an audible thumbs up because we've got listeners? I've just remembered.
Thumbs up. I'm doing visual and audio. Thumbs
I
up.
guess that we didn't even need to mention it because it's so predictable. Mike didn't watch it. Liam likes it. What about finally? I wanted to bring it up because it is Star Wars related. What about Star Wars Squadrons? Did you watch that?
No. Squadrons.
Sorry, I heard it at the same time. Sorry about that, everybody. Star Wars Squadron. What do we think?
Another thumbs up from me. I think that looks good.
You watched that, Mike?
No.
Pathetic. All right, well.
Listen, I'm the one who said fucking Squadrons, all right?
It could have been called Squadrons and you wouldn't have even known. But it's basically Star Wars in space, isn't it? Just dogfighting game.
Star Wars in space. Whoa, slow down. Star Wars in space. He said.
When you're all on
It's,
that fucking planet.
It's a literal Star War.
No.
Yeah, that's it. And
Yeah.
it's just,
I'm sure it will be good. Sure it'll be good. But I haven't seen it. What was it?
It's
Trailer? I saw a picture, which looks cool.
well,
there was a CGI trailer, wasn't there?
Yeah, cinematic trailer, and then at EA Play they did like a 5-minute gameplay trailer, but it was one of those gameplay trailers where it was like very heavily edited to still look quite cinematic, but you could tell there was a bit of gameplay in there at the same time. It's a 5v5 space battle game with a single player campaign and multiplayer, and it's got full support for VR. You can play the entire thing in your headset if you want, and it's going to be £35 when it comes out, which is a bit odd. So it'll probably have like a 2-hour campaign, and then the rest will be multiplayer.
Sure as fuck. Yeah.
And they've said no microtransactions.
Yeah, but it's just a space battle game. Looks good.
There we go.
Who's making it?
EA Motive, who they're the ones who did
Racing. They did car game type stuff.
They did. I think they did the single player campaign for Battlefront 2. I think.
Okay.
Do you remember? I think they're that studio that's headed up by Jade Raymond. You know, the former Ubisoft Assassin's Creed lady. I think she's the head of this studio.
They've only done the Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Yeah, they're quite new.
Right.
Yeah. And
Okay, cool. Well, so that's the 85th Special Moves podcast, isn't it? Very Last of Us 2 heavy. Hopefully we didn't spoil it too much. And, if you're playing it, remember the very specific guidelines we laid down for leaving your comments. But do leave your comments, please. Cheers. See you next week.
bye.